Have you ever wondered how you can get a bigger and bolder version of yourself? Today we're continuing with the information from the book Momentum from Evan Carmichael. We're looking for those mindset shift to help us. And as I mentioned yesterday, we are working with my reading of the book and my notes I took as I was reading it. So mindset shift number 3 is the following. You need to make bigger decisions with your heart and small ones with your head. So, what does that mean? Well, most of us, when we have an idea that comes from the heart. We usually get energized. We feel that we can create the world, a new blogs, a new business, a new podcast, a whole bunch of new things, because it comes from the heart. But as soon as you say, okay, I want to start what I really want to do, then your head gets in the way. And what happens is once your head gets in the way, then sometimes you have the internal discussions, you're not sure how to start. And sometimes those amazing ideas coming from the heart, sometimes they don't get or don't move forward as fast as they could be. So how can we make these happen? So these are some of the notes I had for this one. So here, when you think of making big decisions with the heart, is this idea that so the question is, what does the heart want? So my heart wants to explore more, learn more, and become more financially prosper. And I want to become more financially prosper by helping more people in learning, more people in feeling more confident in themselves. So this is what my heart wants. I love learning, I love teaching, and I love helping others growing. So this is what comes from the heart. Now the big issue though is that once I know what I want to do, then comes my head and say, okay, how am I going to do this? So the big question is not as much as the energy to get there, but how we can get our mind to go and move in the same direction as our heart. So my heart wants to explore and learn. And you know what? Learning is my one word, my why, the reason why I do what I do. And it is important because your why, your beliefs, who you are inside, is the reason you do what you do, the reason why you get up in the morning, the reason why you are getting up after little failures and stepping back up saying, I can do it. So the why is important, and your heart can do this. And when it says that small decision comes from our head, and the reason for that is that you need to start taking outlining what you need to do to get towards your goal. And for that, you need your mind, because your heart has the willingness to have great ideas and give you the energy, but you need your mind to put the steps together, to put some processes together so that you can move forward towards your goal. Because if you don't do that, then that energy that comes from your heart might not go as far as you think it could go. So that was this idea here, and one of my goal is to actually create a YouTube channel where I can help others. And this video I'm doing here with my milestone journey. So let's see how we can go to the next one. The next mindset shift number 4, it goes like this. What would the boldest version of you would do? And this is in line with what I just mentioned about the fact that your heart, and I need to go back a couple pages just to remind myself that we make big decisions with the heart, and that's what allows us to create the big move. Tony Robbins called it massive action, something to get you going, so that once you start, then you want to go to the next step, so that you can, at some point, create, as the book mentions here, momentum. Because once you get momentum, then more opportunities come to you, and that is quite amazing. So here I have a sentence here, and it goes like this. If time, money, and resources were not an issue, what would you do? And it's quite amazing. Sometimes we dream, sometimes we have big ideas, but once our heads goes into play and says, okay, but I don't have time. I don't have resources. I don't have money. Sometimes our ideas die out. The big question is, once you decide to create a massive action, you try to figure out, okay, what can I do with the resources I have? And Tony Robbins and Dean Gracius, he talked about this idea of being resourceful. So most of the time, resources, yes, they are important, but being resourceful allows you to use what you have at this time, the limited time you have, or the limited money, limited resources you have, and do so much more than anybody else could do because you are driven by your heart, driven by what you really want to do. And that's what makes you you and different than others. The next one here is, if time, money, and resources were not an issue, what would it look like? Oh, that's a good question. We can use our imagination to visualize what our success would look like, how our dream would look like. And by visualizing it, it allows us to put energy towards our idea, to start focusing our attention to more specific situation, so that once opportunities come your way, you're more inclined to be able to see them and then take advantage of them. And here, in order to be the boldest version of you, I mentioned here that you have to say no to your limiting beliefs. So some of my limiting beliefs sometimes would be, um, I'd love to have a business, but there's so much I need to know about what business is all about before I can actually have a business. On the other hand, being able to do little steps like this YouTube channel allows me to build. I'm doing laundry at the same time, as you can see. It's building the ideas and the skills so that as opportunities arise, I'll be more ready than if I was not doing any of those. I have here that my bold self would be a person who would love to travel, learn more, because I feel that the more I learn, the more there's to learn. I love the idea of being adventurous and being an explorer. And you know why? Science is has been my way to be able to do all of these. And that's why I'm a science teacher in a classroom. And the whole idea is, how can I be better in my classroom and then beyond the classroom? It's quite amazing. So let's see what the next idea I have here from this mindset shift number 4 about our boldest version. Let's see. Let's see. So here we have the same thing. If time, money, resources was not an issue, where would I be? And I have here that I would most likely have a blog because I always wanted to create a textbook. And it's still something I have in mind. My YouTube channel for science, this YouTube channel, um, a blog where I can share ideas, because I do believe that the written content is amazing the same way as video content is. And keeping that in mind, you could say, well, on top of that, there will be social media, affiliate marketing. I also could help other people in becoming better teacher, in becoming better learner. My biggest thing right now is the resources that I don't have. I'm by myself. I don't have all the people or team to support me. So all I can do is I'm building the skills with this YouTube channel. I'm building the skills in learning to become a better and bolder version of than I can be, so that I can reach the next level. And I'm going to do that with you. We're doing that with Evan Carmichael with his book Momentum and his movement makers. On this do great things tonight. I'm going to put here a link to a video and also a link to my milestone journey. You'll see all of this is us working together, doing one thing at a time, one video at a time, one day at a time, so that we can be bolder versions of ourselves. I'll see you in the next video.